Fallout New Vegas, probably one of the most popular games in the Fallout franchise. That being so, it is probably one of the most reviewed Fallout games in the franchise. Anytime a new analysis, retrospective, review comes out, whatever you want to pick, they always go over the same points about how it's one of the greatest stories ever told in video games, 2, the dialogue is written perfectly, and 3, instead of forcing you down the path of green, you get to choose between every single shade of brown. Now, don't get me wrong, I love these parts of New Vegas too. Anytime someone asks me what my favorite story is, I point to its DLCs and tell them the story of Dead Money, of Ulysses and Joshua Graham, and those guys with the brains in their jars, or is it jars in their brains? Whatever. However, when I watch all these reviews and analysis on the game, I always hear these praises being given to it, almost like a broken record, without even mentioning two great factors that I personally like to return to the game for. Today, in this episode of the What I Love About series, I'm going to be talking about those 2 points. Also, this should go without saying, but minor spoilers for the end of New Vegas. Have you ever written an essay? Wait, don't click off the video yet, I'm going somewhere with this. So in elementary school, I was taught that when writing an essay, you need to have 3 main components: a hook at the beginning, a great body, and a good conclusion. Now, of course, that is a great oversimplification of the process, but that's how I always summed it up. After so many playthroughs of this game, I've noticed that New Vegas kind of mirrors its plan. The body is, of course, its core gameplay and story, the thing that everyone talks about. And its conclusion is amazing, as you'll hear me talk about in the next section, but New Vegas' opening cinematic and trailers, I sort of see them as the hook. And boy, they are amazing hooks. I was taught that when writing an intro for an essay, it needs to get the audience excited to read the paper, or at the very least, interested in what you have to say. Sort of like this video's opening words. It was supposed to get you interested in what I had to say, as if it was something unique about this game, when in reality, there are so many reviews of New Vegas on this website that someone had to have mentioned today's points at least once. But back on topic, New Vegas' trailers and opening cinematic are great hooks. Starting with New Vegas' trailers, I love them so much because they do what most trailers should do nowadays. They make me want to purchase the game. To me, most trailers nowadays just inform me of another movie or a game that's going to exist in a few years, not necessarily making me want to see it or buy it anymore if I hadn't seen the trailer and just heard about it via word of mouth. And that's where New Vegas comes in, because back then, when I was considering getting the game, I had only played 2 Fallouts before, 76 and Shelter, so, it wasn't that diverse of a catalog. Everyone was saying, get New Vegas, get New Vegas, get New Vegas, but I decided to give every console game a fair chance. So I watched every trailer for 3, New Vegas, and 4, and it was then when I decided to get New Vegas. I really need to stop saying that phrase, because the trailers did their job. Instead of informing me that, hey, this game exists, they instead said, here's what the game's going to be like, be hyped. And I sure was hyped to see more of this game anyway, to get more of this energy that was being irradiated from this trailer, this mix of epicness, a sort of lightheartedness tone, and dark themes. That's what I got from the trailers, and thankfully they were right, because that's what I got from the game too. And then there's this other part of the intro of the New Vegas essay, the opening cinematic. I love this opening so much because it was done perfectly. From the beginning, where it shows us the strip and what it's like to be on there, to the end where Bane gives his amazing monologue and then proceeds to shoot us in the head. I love how it was framed, where it slowly gives us more and more information as the camera pans out, and I love the war never changes in this one too, despite the fact that I prefer others because they don't give us too much exposition before we start playing. But despite that one flaw, this part of the game is amazing, and I really can't do it any justice by just describing it to you, as some of you Fallout veterans would know. I remember when I first played this game, I loved the intro because it made me think, if this cutscene could be that cool, I wonder what the rest of this game is like. And luckily, it was just as amazing as the intro. And when you combine these 2 factors together, they form the hook of our New Vegas essay. And gosh dilly darn it, it's a great hook that could get anyone interested in this amazing essay/video game. Now, of course, as you play it more and more, the beginning and the trailers start to lose their luster, but after playing this for God knows how long, they still hold up. Now, I want to start off this next section by saying that from this point on, there will be some spoilers for the ending of New Vegas, so be wary when watching this next segment. That being said, I want you to imagine you've been playing this game for a long time. You've been making sure to complete every quest to befriend every single group, and to discover and explore every single crevice of this game. And then in the end, you beat the final boss, you fight the last battle, you complete the journey of the game as you go on. And that's when this beautiful music starts playing, and a slideshow appears, and it starts telling you what happened after the events of the game. Sure, other games do this too, but New Vegas is different because other games usually tell you what happens after the main quest, and that's it, almost as if you didn't do those side quests. However, in New Vegas, they tell you nearly everything. Most of those choices you struggle to make in your free time, they're shown here. That companion you've grown attached to, their story's continued here. A third point to finish the rule of threes, that's here too. Now, of course, other games like Fallout 3, 4, and maybe 2, God, I need to play that game. They show you what happens after the game by letting you play after the game. However, for reasons I'll get into in their own videos, besides Fallout 2, because I haven't played it, I prefer this one over those. But besides that, I love it because of the way it plays out. From the music that perfectly sets the tone for the slideshow, whether you did something really horrible or gave hope to the Mojave, the music just fits. To the fact that they have their own original voice actors narrate their own endings. I love that because it makes it more personal than if Ron himself were to just narrate the endings. Where the intro is something that loses its shine over time, getting a different and satisfying ending each playthrough I get, it never gets old and is in fact one of the reasons why I play this game and I keep on playing it over and over again. Now, of course, there's other things I love about this game too. The main story is amazing, but, and prepare for a controversial opinion, I think the DLC's cohesive story is better than the main game story, which I'll get into why in its own video. However, I didn't cover these points because, like I said earlier, I've seen so many reviews of this game, all talking about the same points: the story, the world building, the RPG mechanics. And don't get me wrong, I love New Vegas because of these points too. But every time a new review/retrospective comes out, I hear the same thing every time, waiting for something different. But instead of doing that and waiting even longer, I decided to just screw it, get off my butt, and make a different one. This channel you see here, it exists because I wanted to make a different review of the game I love. A review/analysis that didn't cover the same points that's already been said many times before. Well, that's all I have to say, so... If you enjoyed the video, make sure to... Hello everyone, this is the Kang, and welcome back to the post-video ramble. Today I wanted to talk about another part of the ending that I love that I couldn't quite fit into the ending of this video, and it's the credits. I love them so much because they're like every other credits, just except the song they use is great, and plus, it's sort of like what I mentioned with like the ending slideshow. It just basically is great. It's a great conclusion to come to after a long journey. Thanks for watching. This is the Kang. Goodbye.